entirely sure as to what you're about to expect, even despite all that has been laid out for these two teams. But to answer all our questions, we're heading into game number 1 immediately. So let's see how this goes. At the end of the day, it's still going to be a very aggressive play for Aurora in the mid lane. Look at that, Khalid and Jushin.
Yeah, they're just really dominating the mid lane early on. I mean, they can afford to do so.
Wow.
The Jushin plus Renegade on the Khalid. So ONIC really going to have a hard time going up against these two.
Yeah, at the center of the map. That's one of the saving graces for Aurora, the fact that the Kali and the Jushin together will be able to outpoke and actually mess up the Gacha. In terms of the emblems, all good, although it is a Master Assassin for Dom and Kite. Bargain Hunter Inspire still the go-to approach for all pirates so far.
Man, Yue continuing to be a thorn in the neck of ONIC. I mean, we're not used to seeing Brusco and Super Prince at this point of the game having a hard time in the middle lane, but King Kong wants to go for the burst. Forces out Renegade's flicker.
Look at everyone just meeting here in the mid lane in as early as 1 minute. Even King Kong, but he will not let his farming be interrupted. We have to remind everyone, King Kong is known to immediately reach his level 15 in less than 10 minutes, 9 minutes?
9-minute mark, yeah. But it looks like he's gonna have a hard time, even if he has a Matilda by his side. With the way the mid duo of Aurora is playing, ONIC can't rotate that much faster. Just look at this. Renegade and Yue zoning out 3 members of ONIC. Gonna catch Brusco once again, but this time Demon Guide's in the picture. Revitalize is there, but he's not gonna out-sustain the damage coming in from 4 members. Brusco not saved by the Monster Mage. A monster save for Super Prince.
And nothing
Happened.
No one died. And all that. But still, Aurora, I mean, they're able to control the turtle pit, so they definitely will take it for themselves. But Renegade.
First death of the game was the turtle, followed up by Renegade as the second. So, of course, typical ONIC strat, balance things out. If you lose one sequence, all right, they're going to be going to the objective. What else can we get? Just a good timing for them that Renegade was in that portion of the river, looking like he was trying to get some control on the upper quadrant of the map so that Dom and Kite can be safe from any potential ganks in his lane.
Yeah, but I mean, look at how Aurora's denying the rotations from ONIC Philippines. It's very unusual to see them being controlled by the opponents, them being limited by the opponents, to a point where I feel like Dom and Kite has been successful in controlling the lane against Kelra even.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of being frequent so far for ONIC to be on the backside, but wait a minute, Kelra though. Luckily, Brusco was there, Renegade a bit too deep, Super Prince as well, forcing out the flicker, but he's not gonna escape once again. Super Prince as he picks up another kill.
Kelra was almost brought down. He was down to like 10% health up top.
Yeah, if Renegade survived that, I don't know anymore. But now they are able to protect Kelra. So looking at the goal differences so far, it's not that significant. But Dom and Kite, oh, that was close.
I mean, imagine Renegade was up top too deep. At least he could pop the Purify of Kelra, but still unpopped. Meanwhile, Dom and Kite used already his flicker, but here comes Aurora trying to work on Brusco AOG defensively. But again, no casualties. Nothing happened for Aurora.
You know how I was wondering, where is ONIC going? Wait, let me ask that question later, okay? Because I feel like they're about to engage in another team fight.
Sandstorm gonna connect, but onto Brusco and Kelra has to walk away here. Another save coming in with the Super Prince. One more hit and gets burned down by a US. Super Prince might be the next target. And Aurora finally picks up 2, but here comes King Kong up against 3. He might have to walk away from that fight. And again, Aurora finally finds a trade.
Yue having a stellar game. Good timing with the Lantern Flare and positioning. Him and Renegade have been on point right now with their rotations. Kurt in the red.
Oh no. Now we're seeing Kelra not being able to do the usual things he's able to do in his own lane. They're so focused on the gold lane, and it feels like Kelra's being limited so much, and this is another turtle that could go into Aurora's hands.
Dom and Kite has been handling the lane very well, and Aurora have been timing their rotations to help Domeng to the point where now Dom and Kite has won the laning phase against Kelra.
Yep. So earlier we were thinking about how could ONIC potentially deal with all this? And it seems like the answer is yet to be solved as Aurora once again finds themselves in the top lane.
Okay, Kelra uses Examine Force plus the Purify to evade Edward. Edward not committing any ultimates yet, but here comes the counter-attack. Might be for ONIC as they try to work on Renegade. Circling Eagle gonna connect, but Raging Sandstorm is there to evade a potential death, but they pick up Kirk, but a guiding wins once again for Super Friends. Again, no casualties.
Aurora just has really done a tremendous job of controlling the center of the map. You and Renegade again, they really set the tempo, and Demon Kite seems like he's just always been showing up at the right time. Meanwhile, at the bottom,
wait.
AOG, all 3 ultimates used up by ONIC, but Demon Kite remains unscathed, unbothered. That's huge resources wasted. And now the counterattack coming in from Aurora. They're trying to work on Super Friends as he pops the Circling Eagle, just trying to walk away. Edward might be able to cast a Fist Break and Fist Crack, but they're going to try and just invade the purple buff. ONIC really relegated to their base at this point.
Yeah, Keller actually got taken down before the sequence in the bottom lane. Edward seems to have found him in the map, roaming out of the gold to find the resources and farm elsewhere. A good catch as well by Mr. Consistent. Aurora, they look, excuse my language, but they look pissed off with everything that has happened to them leading up to this moment. They're lost in the grand finals, the doubts in SPS and in M6. And they are shutting up the doubters.
Renegade follows up with the Raging Sandstorm, but King Kong's gonna evade that. Examine Force coming in from Kelra. And still, ONIC, I mean, they're using up a lot of resources, a lot of battle spells from the initiations of 1 Fist Break, 1 Fist Crack alone from Edward. Meanwhile, ONIC is having a hard time as Aurora's lead balloons up to 5K.
And mind you, this has been a very low-scoring game. We've only seen 5 kills across the map in the past 6 minutes of the game, but it's gradually being controlled by Aurora MLBB. ONIC Philippines, we've seen them in a similar situation yesterday. They were clearly simply playing for the late game, but if you're looking at the late game, we haven't even seen Dominic Kite participate in any kills just yet. So even for Aurora, they also have a way to deal with the late game if ever it comes to that.
Dominic has just been working on objectives. If you look at the map of ONIC, inhibitor left onto the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Aurora still has all their turrets intact, and now they're trying to look and take down this mid lane turret as ONIC desperately trying to defend. Look at Renegade. At any given moment, he can go in with the Raging Sandstorm. No flicker, but Brusco goes in with the AOG. This might be a counter-attack coming in from ONIC. Raging Sandstorm going to connect. Edward, though, we're waiting for his combination, but Brusco will be able to sustain the damage coming in from Mr. Consistent. He's going to bring down 1. Now King Kong just trying to work on Renegade. Edward versus Kirk. Who's going to fall down first? Renegade, Demon Kite down, but Hewitt picks up a kill, forcing ONIC to retreat.
The Badang pick going so well for Aurora. Edward on point with the fist breaks and has been breaking the tempo of team fighting for ONIC.
And why do we see so much sustain from Aurora MLBB? Even when I would assume ONIC Philippines would also have the same level, there's a Matilda in their hands. But at the same time, the damage doesn't feel enough just yet for ONIC Philippines. Whenever they try to go in for an engage, there's a beautiful AOG. There's a beautiful Earth Shatter onward combo, but the follow-up doesn't seem to be enough just yet, not even when Super Prince is there.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about the lineup of ONIC is that they are very ulti-based, and their burst really comes mainly from the Nolan and the Harith. For Aurora, on the other hand, again, they're built for a longer, slow, front-to-back team fight with a marksman that can just freely hit. Just stand there, press button, you basic attack and deal damage. That's your job. And Aurora, again, they have the easier to pull off lineup. ONIC's lineup could have been terrifying to go up against, but since Aurora built up a lead very quick, we didn't get to see that point just yet.
Yeah, so how does ONIC get inside the Lord Pit? I do not think they will find a way to contest that objective. They will have to defend. And looking at the gold lead, how rare is it to see a more than 5K gold lead against ONIC Philippines?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's becoming more frequent. If you'd recall, against TLID, against SRG, and yesterday against TNC. But if you'd recall yesterday's game, you'd know that you can't just count out ONIC at any given moment because, you know, they can always turn the tide to their favor.
good news for Aurora. It's going to take quite some time until they actually have to start worrying about that. When they're at around the, even when they're around the 40,000 and it's 35,000 for ONIC, they're still going to be okay. When it gets closer to the point where both teams are like around 50 to 45K, that's when they really have to worry about it. So Aurora, they've been sharp, they've been excellent. At this point, I don't see them messing this up.
Yeah. So let's see how ONIC Philippines deals with this. They have to focus their resources onto taking down the Lord, but they seem to be going for a fight.
Oh, AOG connects onto the middle. King Kong trying to find an angle onto Renegade as he used a quick sand guard. This might be an opening for ONIC. Kirk goes in with Earth Shatter Flicker combination, but Demon Guy bursts down Kirk. Here comes the attack onto Brusco, but a save again from Super Friends, and King Kong slaughters Demon Kite. A huge opening for ONIC Philippines.
That was close. Yue hasn't used the Lantern Flare not until the last moments of the fight, or not until they knew that ONIC Philippines were going to be committed towards that fight. But even after all that, ONIC, they were still able to find their way to taking out Demon Kite.
Okay, so the comeback scenario has gotten a little bit closer for ONIC right now. Aurora needs to start respecting a little bit more, but still, at the end of the day, Aurora's Badang, the fist break of Edward, and what he can dish out has really been breaking the tempo of team fighting for ONIC. And it seems like that's just the idea here for Aurora. ONIC are so good with team fighting, pick up heroes in the lineup that can make sure that the team fighting won't go so easy for ONIC Philippines. I wonder if Renegade knows.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
walking into an ONIC ambush.
Oh, he does. He knows.
Yeah.
The crowd has been
there?
screaming.
He's not going to get baited.
3 items already locked in by both junglers. And in terms of the gold laner duel, Kelra is just down at around how much is that? Oh no, there's a considerable amount of gold. 2.2 and climbing is the lead of Domicide against the Harris.
Yeah. Fortunately for ONIC Philippines, especially King Kong, given the low scoring game, he hasn't been taken out really. He's been consistent in taking the farmings, but you cannot deny the fact that Aurora has been very effective in denying King Kong of all that clean jungle paths. He is yet to achieve level 15 and we're already 12 minutes into the game. No more holy shields for our inhibitor turrets. So you know that ONIC has been pushed against the wall if they reach and if they encounter this kind of situation. So how are they going to fight against this Lord? Aurora positioned themselves around pretty well, and Renegade, you have to be wary of the angles where he comes from for the Raging Sandstorm.
This might be an all or nothing for ONIC. Will they be able to contest, or will they just let Aurora get this Lord uncontested as they secure the second Lord for the Northern Lights?
Yeah, good call for them to not fully contest it. Kelra does not have the Holy Crystal just yet. Only up to 2 items is the God of the Gold Lane, who so far right now has had to kneel to Dominic, who's had a much better game individually, and of course with the great rotations of Renegade and US. What?
It was an off-cam kill!
King Kong finding ways to bring back ONIC in the game. Now Renegade on the chase. Will this delay be enough for ONIC as the Lord marching in onto the middle lane? Dominic just really working on Super Friends. Kelra pops the Zaman Force to be able to clear out the Lord and make quick work of that as Aurora already burst down the inhibitor turret of the mid lane. Renegade! Here comes Edward though!
He should be down.
There's Edward. Oh, he won't make it out alive!
A shutdown for the man that found Demon Kite. And King Kong now, that might have, in the end of it all, actually been really costly for ONIC because it's going to be 5v4 looking good for Aurora in this siege.
Yeah, and they have waves alongside them. Another Zaman Force forced out here from Kelra. Will they be able to still defend this?
Oh, Raging Sandstorm onto Kelra as Brusco pops his AOG
Oh my
onto
God.
Dominkai, popping his Revitalize to about to sustain the damage, but Yue just trying to poke on Super Friends. Still, they were able to save their inhibitor turret into the bottom lane, but the mid lane and top lane is now demolished.
Somehow, now that they've gained access to Dominkite, they're actually starting to show signs that they're able to dish out the necessary damage.
Yep. Already up to a Holy Crystal is the Harith, and I believe the damage onto Dominkite was just from the Gata Kaja and Harith. Maybe one of it could have been from the turret, but as it stands, ONIC should still be within reach of being able to win a team fight. However, for Aurora, again, they've just been excellent. Yue has been on point with his placement and disrupting the team fight of ONIC. ONIC is full dive. That's one thing we have to think about here.
Yeah.
They are full dive against a lineup that are good with the front to back. If they mess up their entry and they're all approaching from one area, Yue, Edward, and the entirety of Aurora is happy. Dominkite will be the happiest. And since Aurora hasn't been giving a lot of openings for ONIC to approach from different angles when it comes to team fights, then ONIC are forced to fight honest in a lineup that's not supposed to be team fighting this way.
Yep. The targetings and the priorities for ONIC Philippines whenever they engage in a team fight will be very important for the upcoming minutes of the game. I don't know if we're breaking records today because we're already 15 minutes in and they seem to be defending it really well. But I'm pretty sure the next objective will be a very important one, especially for ONIC Philippines with a base already exposed.
I mean, honestly, one of the members who got pinned down because of the Jushin pick is mainly Kirk. He's having trouble finding the angles, finding the vision that he can provide from ONIC because of the constant lantern flares coming in from Yue.
So let's see. It seems like ONIC should be a little more confident this time. It was previously mentioned they already have the Holy Crystal as well in Hikilra's hands. Their battle spells are intact, but so is Aurora. They also have everything complete.
Yeah, Bloodwing's already up for this juice and it's going to be even harder to take down Yue.
Okay, gonna commit the Circling Eagle. Renegade enters back with the Raging Sandstorm, gonna connect onto the 3, forcing King Kong to walk away. Edward quite low, dangerously low, but still, Dominkite gets the Lord as they also bring down Renegade. ONIC shuts down the roam, but Aurora gets the Lord.
Okay, ONIC will not be able to chase down the members of Aurora. Good thing Aurora was able to get out of there right away and didn't even think about continuing to fight. Now they'll be able to push in with their Lord. Also unfortunate for ONIC Philippines, they actually could have taken down the mid turret if the minion wave in the mid lane wasn't stopped by a minion wave that was coming in from the top. Yeah. Since that was still there was no minion waves in mid and ONIC PH couldn't force the push into the first turret in the mid lane.
Yep, but that was a very important sacrifice done by Renegade, blocking the path of all members of ONIC Philippines just so they couldn't chase even after the members of Aurora who, as you mentioned, were really low on HP and were nearly even taken out by the Lord itself. So let's see how ONIC defends this. They have enough resources in their hands and we're yet to see Renegade catch up. So Aurora, will they still try to engage in a team fight? King Kong, he'll be shot by Renegade.
Okay, Fracture, gonna pop the quick sand guard to regen. Kirk flickers in with her Shatters, gonna miss. But the beauty is Renegade and Edward doesn't have their flickers. So no flickers for the main initiators of Aurora. They can defend, again, the minion push of Aurora.
17 minutes in and no turrets left for ONIC Philippines. But we're nearing the 50,000 gold mark for both of these teams. So it should allow ONIC a little bit more room to operate.
Yeah, the major defensive items of both the mid laner and gold laner of Aurora are good. So it should be, again, even more difficult for ONIC. However, what we talked about earlier, if it's at this point of the game and it's still within around 5,000 gold, ONIC are still within reach. Aurora, Dominkite, his positioning now will be key. He just built the Wind of Nature. Kirk now has the Starlium Scythe. But what Kirk needs to do is to start timing his entries with the Earth Shatter onward a little bit better. The last time where in the base we saw him use a flicker, that was forced. That should not have happened. The next time that flicker is up, Kirk has to make it count with his Edith combo.
Yeah, most of the surprises will be primarily coming in from Kirk at this point. Brusco could probably provide some follow-up, not unless or only if there is enough information as well as to where Aurora MLBB is, where the members are, so he could actually use the best possible avatar of the Guardian.
Yeah.
But if not for Kirk, it seems really hard for ONIC to find an initiation, not unless King Kong gets another pickoff.
Yeah, the game got to extend to the latest, and now it's just about who can execute this better. You see, ONIC are actually really respecting the fact that Yue, despite not having a lot of stacks just yet on the Sky Piercer, they're respecting it.
They're gonna go right after Super Friends, gonna cast Circling Eagle, but they catch Gaura! Salmon Force Purify is not gonna be enough to sustain the damage. ONIC, though, has to retreat, has to answer back. Two members are gone. Brusco also and Aurora might not go for the Lord anymore. This could be an endable push for Aurora.
Hell of a play by Renegade, the concealment by Aurora. This could be it.
Okay, Minions marching on to the bottom lane. 3 members left to defend. Minions spawn for ONIC right now. Will Aurora be able to end this right away?
That's it.
Pops his Prime